Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Reconnect. I'm Diana Palm, and I am the medium helping you heal the grief from heartbreak and loss. Today's episode is quite fascinating, and I'm really glad that you're here. Stay with me if you've been experiencing what we're going to talk about, because I'm going to lead you through some energetic ways that you can actually heal this. And what I'm talking about is phantom pain and illness that we actually absorb and empath in from our loved ones who have died and are on the other side. We can actually absorb illness from the living, which you may already know about, especially if you're a very empathic person by nature. But we do this really often in those that we love that die. And I'm going to talk to you about that, kind of open up this conversation, and then give you some tips on how to clear that energy. So get comfortable. We're going to go ahead and dive in. Now, the reason why we do this is because we want to feel close and connected to our loved ones. And this is why, even with the living, we can absorb what they're going through. For instance, have you ever had somebody call you on the phone or even talk to you in person and start to describe a physical ailment that they're having? Maybe they're suffering from a migraine and they're explaining it in detail. Oh, their head hurts and they're seeing, the lights moving around in the room and they're just in so much pain and they can't. And as they're talking about it, you realize that you're beginning to feel their pain. This is very, very common. And that's why we have to monitor what we spend our time listening to and paying attention to and focusing upon, including TV shows, radio shows, and everything else. Your mind does not know the difference between you and someone else. So even when you hear a friend's problem, you may be trying to be supportive, you may be hearing them out, but your brain does not know the difference between it happening to your friend and it happening to you. And this is a really well-known phenomenon. That's why they use this with sports athletes to train them for success and achievement as they're playing different types of sports. So it's very important that you have a good buffer around what belongs to somebody else and what belongs to you. And whenever you've clouded that line and it's come through in any way that is not positive, you want to be able to clear your energy and make sure that you are not walking around with other people's ailments. Now, this becomes even more impactful when you're absorbing and empathing the illness or pain from a loved one who passed. Many years ago, one of my clients came to me and she was having a lot of pain and suffering in her gallbladder. She was having gallbladder attacks, and it came on rather suddenly, but was persistent after it began. And I knew her for a number of years, over a pretty long time frame. And when we started to finally dig into why she was experiencing this, she brought to the table that her mother had gallbladder problems. And not only that, but I think she had diseased gallbladder, cancer in her gallbladder. And then that was the major reason why her mother passed away. So that was the precursor, or the most pivotal part of her mother's illness and death. So it was right after that that my friend began having gallbladder problems. Now, in her own mind, she thought, oh, well, it runs in my family. If my mother had it, of course I would have it. And that's the logical decision. And that's how a lot of traditional medicine is represented. They represent that it's genetic DNA, that your family has an influence this way, that your genes are set up this way, and that if one of your parents or siblings has a particular ailment, that you're highly likely of getting it. Now, I want to go just a little bit deeper on this because they're partially correct, but you can actually heal defects in your DNA, because defects are primarily caused by either toxins or emotional traumas that are unhealed. And so if you know that 3 generations back, suddenly your family started having one particular ailment, you can actually do healing on that ancestor from 3 generations ago and clean up your family line. So we want to look at the fullness of what your pain is about and what your illness is about, and see if it's attached to one of your loved ones who has passed, even an ancestor. Um, as we go into this, it's important to know that while there are genetic influences, they are not set in stone. And what you're really inheriting is the trauma, the way that you cope, the way that you think, the way that you feel. And this is known as family group consciousness. When families get together and they talk about different topics, whether it be religion, politics, the way you raise children, marriage and divorce, whatever your family talks about, you'll notice that there are specific mindsets that your family has in common with one another. And that's usually when they come together and start having these conversations, you'll be like, oh, yeah, you kind of believe it as it's fact because so many other people around you believe it too. If you've ever had the opportunity to move across the country and submerge yourself in new thought patterns, you'll realize that many of those things naturally shift, that you evolve in your thinking. And this is why when you go back to a family setting and you start to hear the old paradigm, which means the old topics of conversation, the old belief systems, your family hasn't left, so they hold on to old thoughts and beliefs and feelings. So if you've had the opportunity to leave and come back, now you notice that this is your family group consciousness and that you're no longer a part of it because you've shifted the energy around you that makes you you. You have shifted your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs. You've shifted many things. And that's the first positive way to get out of the mindset of inheriting your family's disease, illness, pain, and suffering. This can be applied to everything: money, health, and love. So it's important to know how your mind works because many people are afraid that they have attachments when they're experiencing something after the loss of a loved one. And while that can be true, most of the time, you've actually empathed their pain. You've created a phantom illness in your body as a way to feel connected to them, as a way to stay close and to not lose that connection with your loved one who passed. Now, does this only happen in families? It does happen. You can even, I empathed my father's death pain. So thankfully, I didn't keep it. And this is why I wanted to do this episode. When my father was dying of COVID 2 years ago, I actually felt the death come upon myself. And I didn't realize immediately that it was his. I thought something tragic was happening to myself. It was very scary. So sometimes that connection, that genetic connection is so strong that it can happen without thinking about it. Of course, when someone in your family is sick that you love, you're thinking about them, and that's the energetic cord. And if you're an empathic person, things can come through that cord. That's what happened to me. Thankfully, when I woke up in the middle of the night, I was paralyzed. I couldn't move. I was so scared. And then I just started thinking, using all my spiritual gifts and skills immediately because it was so severe. I just started saying out loud, "This is not mine," and I kept saying it firmly. "This is not mine. This is not mine." And I kept saying it over and over. Of course, the first thought is when you think it's yours, you're trying to figure it out. What's happening to me? Oh my God, am I dying? Am I having this ailment or this ailment? And you start to go down that rabbit hole. But when you do that, when you're in the energy of trying to understand it or figure it out, your focus is on it and it's getting worse and worse and solidifying inside of your body. So the first thing you want to do is immediately be like, this is not mine. And there begins the separation of the energy cords. So that's one of the things you can try. But back to what I started, does this only happen with people that you're genetically related to? And the answer is no, because we are also energetically connected to those we love. Many years ago, my best friend died, and I carried his heart pain for 3 years. He died of a heart attack, and for 3 years, I had a heart pain. And I didn't know that I had taken anything on until I started really trying to seek help and go to different healers and different teachers that were peers of mine. And finally, we discovered that my soul had taken on his heart pain so that he wouldn't have to feel it in the afterlife. Now, this is not something that we do consciously. We do this on the very deep soul level or subconscious level. So when you do discover it, now you know that you can shift it and heal it and release it. But we unintentionally do this. We create bonds to one another and we absorb through those bonds. One of the greatest reasons why people don't want to separate from that pain sometimes is because they feel like if they separate from that pain, they'll lose that person forever, that their bond will be ended, that they will no longer be able to feel their energy or connect with them. And I want to let you know that you can stay connected to your loved one in the afterlife without having to take on their pain or illness. It's very important that you know that. It's also important to know that your body does not have to create a sympathetic illness or disease in order to feel connected to them. So whether you're absorbing it or your own body's taking over and creating it so you have something in common with them, it's along the same thread. And either which way, you can shift it and you can heal it. Okay. I'm going to just make sure that I follow my notes on this topic because it's a pretty deep topic. Okay, so one of the things, let me see. Okay, when your body is producing its own pain, aside from the death of a loved one or something that you're absorbing from someone you know that's living, when your body's creating pain for you, this is actually a wonderful indicator of where you are storing unhealed emotions. You could store trauma in your body. You can store it from childhood. You can store it from a divorce. You can store it from an actual trauma like a car accident. Any of these emotions that create shock or trauma in your body can be stored in different organs or different joints. It can be stored anywhere in your body. So when most people suddenly start having a physical pain, the first thing they want to do is get rid of it. They want to dive into it. Why is my body creating this? What did I do wrong? Did I injure it and not know about it? Did something happen in my sleep? Why is my body presenting me with this pain? And again, like we talked about before, when you go down that rabbit hole and try to figure it out, you're actually applying a lot of energy and focus on the problem. You're trying to create a solution, but you're also focused on the problem, and it may become more and more submerged. What would be more helpful for you to tune in with your body and ask what the message is. What emotions are you holding on to? What is lodged in your body? What traumas have you not fully expressed? Because your physical body is the secondary place that we experience pain and suffering. It first happens on an emotional or spiritual level and then presents itself in our body. So by the time your body is creating pain for you, you've already experienced it on the other levels. So let's see. Okay. Many of you can actually tie this to survival. So they talk about, colon cancer, for instance, being on the rise. It's so much more common now, and there's a lot of focus on it, which the focus on it actually creates it to be larger also. But one of the other factors that creates it from an emotional and spiritual level is the focus on the root chakra, which is survival. So when things are changing very quickly, people don't know how they fit into society. How are they going to support their families? Where are they going to live? All these changes are happening. That creates a lot of disharmony in your root chakra. The root chakra is at the base of your tailbone, right where the colon exists. So in that part of your body, you can hold on to a lot of trauma. And this is also effective, like when we've lost loved ones. Many of us don't know, like, oh, my partner died. How am I going to support myself? Where am I going to live? It's the same kind of shock and trauma that we hold in that part of our body. So we want to make sure that we're doing some healing around our root chakra, especially when we're losing loved ones and when we're having major life changes. We don't want to hold on to trauma in that part of the body. We want to be able to release it through energetic healing, through many different methods to release energy that you're storing in your body, and particularly that chakra. So today, I'm just going to lead you through this very simple exercise that you can do on your own. You can also seek different types of healers for it. Of course, I do address this in Reconnect, my #1 spiritual grief healing program, where I connect with you intuitively and find out where those emotions are and what the issues are that are causing pain and illness within your body. So if you're interested in working with me, be sure you check that out at www.dianapalm.com. Okay, so this is a very simple exercise that you can do right now, and that you can also practice and take it deeper with yourself as you move through these energies. So if you have any pain or illness right now and you're not sure if it's connected to either a living person or somebody that's on the other side, you can do this exercise. So go ahead and close your eyes, and I want you to place your hand on your heart, and then just tune in with your inner guidance and ask, is this particular pain mine, or does it belong to somebody else? And give it a minute and see how you feel. Is this pain mine, or does it belong to somebody else? Now, if this pain is yours, then you know you have stored emotions that you need to address and heal. Even, I would like to say this, even if an illness or pain or any discomfort in your body is created by a toxin, the reason the toxin is getting stuck in your body is because there's already an emotional block. So you can clean up your diet and exercise and do all these physical things to clear the toxins out, but it's even more important to clear the emotional content out so that the toxins don't get lodged and your body can be operating as a purification system like it always was meant to and usually does, for us 24/7. So always look at it from every single level. Now, if you got the answer that the pain you're carrying belongs to somebody else, I want you to take a nice deep breath all the way in through your mouth, through your nose, and then out through your mouth. So and you really want to blow it out like you're blowing out a candle. This will really help center you and help you get out of your head and get more into your inner connection. So go ahead and take a couple more deep breaths just like that. Okay, so if this is an energy that you've empathed from somebody else or absorbed from somebody else, living or dead, we want to bring in for you that it is possible for you to stay connected to them without having to impact their pain and suffering. And that your brain knows the difference between another person's pain and suffering and your pain and suffering. And that you can still show them compassion without empathing any of their pain or suffering. That you have a very clear separation between you and others, but you can still feel connected to them. We're also going to be removing hooks and cords that you have to other people where you are unintentionally drawing in their energy into your spiritual body. And we're going to be clearing hooks and cords to your loved ones on the other side and letting you know that you can stay connected to them without having to absorb their pain and suffering, without having to empath their death pain or the way that they died, and that you can become free and clear of any predisposed genetic predisposition for disease, discomfort, or anything that you feel you inherited, that you can actually free yourself from family group consciousness, and that you can create solutions and cope differently and change your belief systems, and that it's safe for you to do this, and that you still feel connected to your family, even if you have different ideas and beliefs and feelings than they. Let's bring it in that it's safe for you, that you feel connected with others without absorbing their pain, suffering, and creating phantom illnesses. That you no longer need to do this in order to feel connected and feel loved. And we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to cut hooks and cords from around you. We're going to be cutting etheric cords that connect you to the other side and to any other place you've been in any other timeline, whether it be a past life or this life. And we're going to bring in some unconditional love for you here in this moment, absolute forgiveness and compassion for anything that you've taken on that you didn't mean to. And we're going to go ahead and just clear it up, clear it out of your system. Just up and out, let it go. And then I want you to just visualize this big, beautiful golden cord coming down through this, from Creator down through your crown chakra into your body, just like it's showering. Once it hits your body, it turns into golden, sparkly droplets of water. And allow that to cleanse your body and the cells in your body and your energy. So it's within you and it's around you. Just let this wash over you. You're completely safe to be back in your own energy. You're still connected to those you love that are living and on the other side. And you're worth being happy and healthy, even if loved ones died that weren't. It's okay for you to be in a healthy body. It's okay for you to have healthy finances. It's okay for you to be healed after losing a loved one. Go ahead and just let this energy continue to clear out every system in your body, every organ, and anywhere you've been holding on to empathic pain. And now we're going to go ahead and send healing to all your loved ones that are living and dead. To your loved ones who are living, we're just going to start in our heart chakra and we're just going to send it out. And we can send so much love without connecting to them through etheric hooks and cords. We do not have to take on their pain and suffering. We do not have to solidify it for them by believing in it. We can just send love to them, which will help them feel more empowered and shift out of their own problems themselves. So let's just go ahead and empower them with all this love, sending it out to them. Just picture their faces, picture them smiling when they receive it. Okay. And then for those of you that want to go ahead and stay connected to your loved ones in the afterlife, which is in your best interest to stay connected and to continue to be connected to your genetic family line and those you love that you've formed heart bonds with. Let's go ahead and send them love where the energy is always coming up and out from you. We're not absorbing it in. We're going the other way. So we're going to go ahead and send them unconditional love, releasing the impact of the trauma of how they died, releasing any empathic cords where we took it on intentionally or unintentionally on any level, including the soul level. And we're just going to go ahead and continue to send them love. Knowing that your loved ones are connected with you and they do not want you to take on their pain in order to stay connected. This will free them and allow them to come to you and visit with you more and more easily as well, because they won't see that you're connecting empathically and taking on their pain. So now they're going to be more guided to come to you, whether it be in a dream or through symbols, however your soul feels most comfortable getting afterlife science. They will be able to come in and connect with you further. Okay. Good. I'm just viewing the collective to see how everybody's doing with this. And then we're going to do one more where we're actually going to allow some energy into our body that comes directly from source, directly from creator. And this one is going to come towards you, where the other ones were going away from you through your heart and by sending love out. This one is coming in to fill your heart so that you never run out of that precious energy to give others unconditional love and healing. So we're going to draw that in directly from source. Again, golden, beautiful light coming into your body, filling you up, replenishing you. It's an unlimited supply. This will energize your body. It will refresh your energy. It will revitalize you. It will help you stay in a more clear state within your body, allowing emotions to leave easily, allowing more light consciousness to come into your cells, into your thoughts, into your feelings, and also be expressed in your physical body. Very good. Very good. I like the way that feels. It's a really good practice to continue doing this. So if you found this video on YouTube, go ahead and watch it again. If something else is happening to you, run through the same process. If you would like deeper work, more one-on-one work with me, be sure you check out my #1 spiritual grief healing program called RECONNECT. I also do private one-on-one sessions. If you're not ready to commit to the whole program, but you just need immediate help, we can set up a private session, and you can do that on my website as well. Okay, I'm going to check to see if I have any questions. I did not see any pop up, so that's good. I have a feeling that you're all just enjoying the energy of this energetic healing and meditation, and that you're really receiving this in such a beautiful and profound way. So you guys, I want to thank you very much for joining me here today on this topic. And I'll look forward to reconnecting with you next week. We connect every single week, same time, same place, on Facebook and on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye. Oh, thank you, Christina. I appreciate it.